What's up, everyone? Mental Monday on a Sunday. I know I'm gonna have a busy day tomorrow, and I know my schedule's kind of crappy for getting it in at a good time. So I figured I would get with you guys tonight because I have some extra time now. So I honestly, I really wish. Oh wait, before I forget, thank you as always, Wrestling Mindset, for sponsoring these posts and doing the great work that you guys do. Awesome content all the time. I know they're doing a really good team package right now, so make sure you go to wrestlingmindset.com. You can check that out. And then also AWA, our gear order closes tonight, like 3 hours, 18 minutes to be exact, on therudis.com. If you just scroll down this page on Facebook, you could find the link to that. Got some really cool gear. Rudis always has cool gear. So I actually wish tonight's Mental Monday, I know I have some good thoughts on this topic, but I really wish this could be like, I don't know, a debate or a discussion, or have more people involved in this, because I don't think this is a topic that is talked about very frequently. What's up, Fisher's Woods? I'm out of there now. I'm living in Lake Country. This is a topic that's not discussed frequently: sympathy, empathy, and guilt, and something that I think is really important. I think something that could be discussed more. And so, like I said, I don't really have. I would say yes, Yusuf. I think it is. I don't really have a perfect answer. Like I said, I think I'm going to give you some good thoughts. Then we get some good feedback. Maybe you guys, if you guys have great thoughts, I generally can read the comments down here pretty well. So if you type them in, give me some feedback. My wife's in the other room. Who knows? Maybe she'll yell something out. And so anyways, with a bunch of guys in my high school group, I was just having these thoughts about, this, again, I don't even know if there's one thing. It's probably not sympathy as much, which is like, feeling sorry for somebody. Maybe a little bit. Maybe, empathy is important, knowing how someone feels. And then maybe guilt for beating them up. But we have to start realizing, I'm going to have to talk with them. So maybe that's what I'm practicing with you guys. I'm going to have to talk with them. But we have to realize that our giving our opponents sympathy in practice does nothing for them, right? But where this gets really challenging, where this is challenging for me, and remember I had that post a couple weeks back about hypocritical athletes, so obviously I realized like there's two sides to each coin, but this one, man, I feel like this is an effing dice or something. It's got like 6 sides. And so, say we're doing leg right defense, which is something we're doing. And we need the bottom guys to get a little good at leg right defense, right? Because we don't want them to get leg rid. And the top guy starts grinding the guy out a little bit. And so then he starts feeling bad for them. And so then he lets them out easy. Obviously, it doesn't help them identify where their weaknesses in their technique are, because you're not going full out, right? Or, I see this sometimes with guys who, if they're kind of hammering a guy, they really let up. And obviously that's not a good situation, but I also am like, well, do you just want to kill the kid and make the kid quit? That's not a good one, right? And so, I think the one thing I'm going to say about this is that we definitely need to get away from just the generic block saying in wrestling of toughen up. It's dumb, doesn't work. It's old school. Might have worked 100 years ago. Doesn't work now. Just get away from it, okay? We all get that you got to be tough. And so that is just like such a simple, blasé, stupid saying that doesn't really mean anything, and we kind of need to get rid of it, right? And so, but we also have to realize it is in fact very important to be tough. And so I'll just give you a couple of tactics I've been trying. For example, I got a 5-year-old daughter trying to make tough. 5-year-olds pretty much just aren't tough across the board. But for example, we had an issue in her gymnastics class when my mom was taking her, and she would sit out for long periods of time. And so, if you say, hey, stop faking injuries, well, that's going to cause a huge issue, because, what is an injury? How much pain is she feeling? X, Y, and Z, we go down the line. So it's like, the way I approached that was, hey, Alex, I realize you may get hurt once in a while in gymnastics class, but once you do, it's important to be able to bounce back, to deal with the pain, because if you are going to be good at this, at some point you have to deal with some pain, you have to deal with some discomfort, and the more you can bounce back into it, the better it's going to be, right? So obviously I'm not challenging her feelings of how bad her leg is injured or whatever, because I don't want to have that debate, because frankly that debate is irrelevant, right? I don't want to get into a debate about how much your leg hurts or how much pain is an injury, or that down the line there. If we do get hurt, obviously, if we go to the hospital, it's a different story, right? But even when we have a fairly serious injury, sitting around crying is not going to help us do anything, and we need to learn to deal with that, hop back into the competition. Another thing on this topic I was thinking about was in college. One of the things I would do with guys who had really, really fast twitch, right? So if we try, and this is like one that really bugs me. I'm gonna tell you why it bugs me. But guys that say fast twitch, right? So you have your very fast twitch muscle fibers, you have your very slow twitch. I'm on the very, 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 very slow twitch end. A marathoner, world-class marathoner, is never going to be a world-class 100-meter dash guy. A world-class 100-meter dash guy is never going to be a world-class marathoner. They're just not equivalent, right? They're just different strengths. And so when we had some of the guys on our team who were really explosive, who struggled with conditioning, which they're sprinters, they're always going to struggle with conditioning. And so one of the things I would do with them is I would go really long goes with them. And because I realized their shape's never going to get that much better, right? That's just not who they are. That's just not how their body's built. But the one thing that you really can learn to do is you can learn what that feeling feels like. You realize they realize it sucks, but then once they're there, they can deal with it a little bit. And so obviously, I pushed a lot of guys mentally to points they'd never been before. One of the things I would always try to do is I wouldn't take it easy on them, but I would say, "Hey, you're doing great. Keep going. Let's go. You can do this. I believe in you." And so, I'm kind of building them up while beating them down at the same time. But I see a lot of coaches do the opposite. "Oh, you're such a wimp. What, you can't deal with this?" And then obviously that totally turns the kid off mentally. It makes them really hate that person that they're dealing with on a regular basis. But so I think there's a place where you can go with both empathy and toughness, right? You can have them both at the same time, two sides of the same coin. Like I said, I think this one's a dice, so I think it's at like 6 different sides. Am I making any sense at all here right now? No one's messaging me back, so I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm putting it out there. I'm talking to you guys. Yeah. So and the last thing, I'm just gonna throw one more thing out there, because obviously there's just so many different levels of this, right? There's your youth stuff, your little kids, the kids I'm raising, the kids you guys are raising. There's your kind of 6, 7, 8 elementary school kids, middle school kids, high school kids, and then there's your very, very, very elite level wrestlers. So one of the other things I'm thinking at the same time is, America right now has kind of a toughness problem, and I think some of it's very good. Some of it really is very good, because I think, say, we go 50 years back, 100 years back, America was a lot tougher, right? I can agree with that. But there was a lot of shitty things going on, right? I mean, you had the civil rights movement. Women couldn't vote, 100 years ago? Most women didn't leave the house. It was very slanted toward a patriarchal society. And so there has been a huge increase in good things, kind of liberal tendencies, actually, even though I don't tend to swing that way. But some of those things are really fantastic, right? More empathy, more sympathy, more caring about others. So some of that stuff is really good, right? But now when we go too far, right, everything's like a pendulum, swings and swings and swings. When we go too far, well, what we have to realize as a society, what we have to realize as parents, what we have to realize as coaches, as bosses, as teachers, whatever it is, right, is that people aren't ever going to get anywhere with sympathy, right? That's never going to make them better. Us taking it easier on them, one partner taking it easy on another partner is not going to make him better, right? It's not going to challenge him to be the best he can. And so sympathy, right? I always kind of make fun of guys, because a lot of high school kids, what their tactic with talking to girls is so pathetic. They ask for sympathy. It's so pathetic, okay? No woman really wants to give you sympathy. If you ask for sympathy, you're going to get put in the friend zone. Hey, there's something you didn't expect to learn on Mental Monday, but you did. Boom, pow. And so where I think we can go with this is that we as coaches, mentors, teachers, parents, I think we have to explain in very clear detail why they need to do this, why we're doing this to them. Guys, I'm putting you through a really tough workout because you need to challenge yourself physically and mentally, because that's going to make you tougher. Because in the state finals, you might get there. You don't want to get there, right? You need to be able to deal with adversity because in a match you might get thrown in your back. You're not expecting you to deal with adversity. This is going to be a very tough situation. This is going to require a lot out of you. Okay, and so again, you're not giving them sympathy when they feel bad. You're not giving them sympathy when they feel pain. You are showing you care about them, but you're also asking or expecting that they have the toughness that they're going to need to deal with. It's not wrestling. Freak wrestling. Wrestling's tough. Toughest, probably one of the toughest sports. We'll go with toughest sport ever. But life's tough. Life's really tough. And sympathy gets you nowhere. It really does. So, I think the more we teach the kids this from an early age, the better it's going to be. And I think, like I said, I think the world has come a long way in the last 50 years. And if you look at most metrics, we've moved a long way, whether it's reducing poverty, reducing homelessness, child mortality. Now I'm going deep, right? I'm trying to go deep. Infant mortality. Boom. A lot of things, a lot better. Equality between people. We're getting a lot better, right? But we also have to... realize that to a certain extent, sympathy is not going to get anyone anywhere. So I think I might talk in a circle. I hope you guys got something out of it today. I wasn't really sure where this was going to go. I was hoping for some more feedback. Okay, I'm trying to read. Sorry, I'm trying to read. Wow, I can't. I'm trying to touch Seymour. I can't. Lewis is asking something about 2 different skill levels, beginners, advanced. Man, that gets really tough. That's why I try to have a lot of kids in your room. So you can try to match people with equivalent skill levels because it does get very, very, very challenging to make practices fun and entertaining and worthwhile for everyone at different levels. So, man, that's really tough. The one thing I'll try to tell kids all the time, if they have someone lower skill than them, it's like, listen, maybe you're the best kid in the room today. Right? Maybe you are. And so when you compare with that guy who's not that good, give him some time. Help him out a little bit. I'm not asking you to be his partner 365 days a year. I'm saying you're his partner today. And you never know when you're going to be in another room, right? So maybe we go to, maybe it's one of the best kids in the AWA room, and we go to the Wisconsin Badgers room. Do you want the college kid saying, okay, I'll go with you and help you out? Or do you want the college guy saying, nah, you're just a punk high school kid. You suck. I'm not gonna go with you, right? Because that's what you're saying. You want to do it in this room over here. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. So I think that that's what I say to people is make sure. I'm not gonna ask you to be someone with a significantly lower skill level than you as partner 365 days a year. But if I do ask you to do that, make sure you're a partner. Make sure you help them. And listen, you never know. And I'll tell you. Listen, I'll give you a great example. Raymond Jordan, Max Askren, Mark Ellis, they sucked when they got to college. I'll tell them that to their face. I was whooping them, putting 40 points on the board. Because I'm 3 years older than them, right? They're freshmen. But listen, but I spent so much time with those, and there's more than that, Nick Marable, Mike Chandler, right? I spent so much time with those guys, working with those guys. And they weren't very good in the beginning. They really weren't. They wanted to work, and they got better, and they got better, and they got better. And so when I spent that time in 2004, 2005, 2006, when I was making my Olympic run in 2008, those guys were some of the guys pushing me to make the team. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do that without them. And so it's like, you don't know who your partner's going to be in 2 years, 3 years. You don't know which kid's going to mature. You don't know which kid's going to have a bunch of desire and get better. So if I said, you guys suck, I'm not working with you guys, be a freaking prima donna, I might not have made the 2008 Olympic team. I'm not going to tell you if I could or not, but I'll tell you between Mike Chandler and Nick Marable and Tyron Woodley, and, well, Tyron's older than me, so I can't say the same thing I said about other people, Raymond Jordan, Max Askren, Mark Ellis, if I didn't spend the time with those guys, helping them get better, I likely think I would not have made the Olympic team because those guys pushed me to be who I was that year. Those guys got to a skill level that was very equivalent to mine and really drove me to be the best I could be. And so, maybe that's even kind of selfish, right? Making those guys better because they're eventually gonna make you better. But some kids, they'll see that, and a lot of parents are dipshits about that. To be frank with you guys, they're like, oh, that kid's not as good as my kid. He shouldn't have to wrestle him. Like, shut up. It's one practice. Go away. Go to Starbucks. I'm not trying to hear that. It's one practice. Sorry, I cussed. I know some people ask me not to cuss. I don't drop any F-bombs. But sometimes it just comes out when I get fired up. I apologize. That's all I got for you guys. I went for a while there. Hope you guys liked it. Hope that makes you guys think deeply. I don't know if I gave you an answer today, but I think I gave you guys something to think about. Sympathy, empathy, guilt. Don't feel guilt for beating up on your opponent. Don't feel sympathy for them. It does not help them. Maybe share some empathy with them. Tell them you've been in that situation before. Tell them you know how it feels. Tell them they're doing a great job. Tell them they need to keep on going. Pushing themselves to be the best they can be. All right. Peace, guys. See ya.